Good morning, all, or good afternoon, good evening if you're in the States. My name's Kyle. I'm the host of the To Be podcast. We're on episode 6 now, and I'm joined by a friend that we connected on social media by the name Ashton Cole. How are you, brother?
Good, man. Doing good.
That's good. That's good. So, we'll just get straight into it if you don't mind.
Oh no, go ahead.
Yeah, cool, awesome, man. So I want to because we connected through the same condition that we have. Well, and for people that are listening and watching, it's called Charcot-Marie-Tooth. But I know my condition is still unspecified to the diagnosis, whereas yours is still yours is like you have a diagnosis, right?
Uh, I'm kind of it's kind of the same situation as yours. Not until this last year, I actually found out that I have two different types of diseases. So I have the muscular dystrophy, which is more related with the genes they found to Charcot-Marie-Tooth. I believe it's Charcot-Marie-Tooth type 4C.
Yep.
And then on the other hand, I have a rare, like a neuromuscular neuropathy disease
Uh-huh.
that I guess affects my nerves. So pretty much from the head down, I got something going on.
Yeah, awesome. And so how did that because this is all all the stuff I talk about on this podcast, all designed to sort of help people in that space. Like when you found out about your condition, what were some of the challenges you faced?
So well, there was quite a few. I'm sure a lot of people know. So I have the muscular atrophy. So I lost a lot of muscle in my legs, and it pretty much was just focused towards more of my legs for a while. And then once I turned, I believe like 18, 19, it kind of actually started going up. So I have like muscle loss in my hands and my arms and my chest and just kind of all over. But for me, it was more, I turned around 13 or 14, used to be one of the fastest kids. There was really no signs or symptoms, except for I had a lot of pain in my legs randomly. I played soccer a lot and sports, but I had random back pain and bad leg pain. Other than that, and I was really tall, so it was easy to kind of chalk it off as oh, he's just tall and he's growing, which was I thought normal too. But no, like later on, once I got into eighth grade, I woke up one morning and my legs hurt super bad, and I noticed that they were probably the skinniest that I've ever seen them. And then over even just a couple of months, I pretty much lost all my leg mass, and so I was like tripping, and I couldn't run. So, I mean, yeah, it was different. It was different. I had to pretty much learn how to like walk on uneven ground. So
Yeah, I
I
know.
like to tell the easiest way to think about it is like standing on like a ship in the ocean, I guess. I mean, just once you find that rhythm, you're good. But
100%. I get you, man. Like, because I know for me, I found out I've had it since I was 2. I didn't start walking until I was 2. I used to army crawl. So
oh no, okay,
I'm got checked. So obviously you got in later in life, and that saying of it's like a ship. Definitely the balancing of it is fun, and like sometimes I like laugh at myself because I get myself unbalanced, and I'll either trip or stumble, and I'll be oh that's okay. I'll just laugh at myself for it because I know that
right?
it's a way of doing it. And what allowed you to so with that challenge when you were growing up, because obviously exercise is very important for the body, the mind, and your soul. So how did you overcome when was the time you found out about your condition? Like what happened in that situation?
So for me, it was I went to one of the many doctor's appointments randomly when I was younger. I was about 14. They actually wrote us a referral to go. It's a place. It's called Shriners
Mm-hmm.
Hospital for Children. It's
Yeah.
here in Oregon. But I went there, man, from pretty much like they took me on from 14 to 2022. Technically, you're supposed to. I think once you're an adult, you can't go there anymore. But they gave me another surgery, so I was able to have an extension. But that place is pretty much where I learned everything that I know now.
Yeah.
And that is the place that also gave me the leg braces, which pretty much gave me a whole meaning and kind of changed my whole aspect on this disease. And
Yeah, very. I mean, I've got a friend of mine who's here on the Gold Coast in Australia, and he's got the same condition, and he's got leg braces as well. And he told me he was on another episode previously, and he told me that his name's Kyle, by the way. And he, yeah, he told me that he used to hide it a lot himself. From there,
yeah,
but
I'm pretty
obviously,
guilty of that as well.
yeah, exactly. And like, I had leg braces myself when I was growing up, but I sort of stopped using them because they were just hurting too much in my like it was only from like the ankles down. But for me, I'm lucky because I've only got it from like I've got it from my waist down, but more my ankles. And I used to wear them up until I think I was 17, 18, and I just stopped wearing them because it's just really hurting myself. And so how did you overcome that moment when you realize you've got this condition and you've got to do things the best way that you can. What was the defining moment for you to get back to what you're doing?
Uh, I pretty much, I'd say probably around like 18. Um, I learned like I'm supposed to be like, in a wheelchair by the age of 21. And I didn't really believe a lot of that anyways, just because I mean I had skinny legs, give me a break. Like I was still able to walk and talk and move, and I'm like, let's not call it yet. But which there's no problem with being in a chair. Don't get me wrong or anything like that. You're more than capable of doing anything, no matter what your status is or walking ability or whatever. But for me, I just kind of wanted to keep it on the feet as long as I can. And they I turned 18. I pretty much so, and long story short, in high school I was like 175 pounds. I was stacked, I was in really good shape, even though I just didn't have like a lot of leg mass. I got used to like walking and stuff. So a lot of people didn't even know. But
Mm.
I lost all that. I lost about over 2 years, I lost about 30 to 40 pounds. And so I weighed 132 at one point. And that's pretty much like I had my son at that time too. So he was two. And at that point I was a single father for quite a while. Um, but that was pretty much the game changer. So, I have this 2-year old. It's just me and him. I'm over here like wasting away. I don't got no help at the moment. They didn't got no answers. So it was pretty much like, it was do or die. So I just started going to the gym randomly, and I took it really easy for a while. And then I kind of fell in love with that. And then before I knew it, I was doing like 100 push-ups at a time. I was killing it in the gym. I was not, even though a guy helped me all the time when I come in, and dude, I was doing like leg presses, and it was cool. I kind of started seeing hope. Well, around that same time, that's when I got the leg braces. And dude, I'm not even gonna lie, like I broke down when this guy it was my last appointment at Shriners, and he said, "Hey, have you ever wore AFOs?" No, I didn't even know what those were. And they were called the Blue Rocker, I think. So I went downstairs and he hooked me up with a pair of those. And dude, I put those things on, man, and went out in the hallway and just like I just took off. Like I jetted. I like ran for the first time. It was surreal. Like I was crying, like I was jumping, I could skip. It was weird, just that little tiny adjustment, and so I was like, well, if I can pretty much do anything like that now. So I left there with new meaning, new purpose. And since then I've just been, I've been running a lot. I don't know, I broke like 5 of those pair. And so I eventually had to find a new like an AFO place, which is super hard to get leg braces, I'm not gonna lie. And they weren't too fond of me for the first couple years because every like every few months I'm calling them like, I kind of snapped one, and they were like, what are you doing? And I'm like, just normal, just living life. I really shouldn't have to give you a, I shouldn't have to explain what I'm doing, you
Mm,
know?
mm.
So that's pretty much when it changed for me. And I got into the gym life, and that's where my life changed.
And
So
what are AFOs? Because I know what they are. They're like splints for the ankles, but tell the listeners and the viewers what they are.
so well, for mine, hold on just one sec. Let me grab it really quick so I can, because this is this last year is when I got this type. It's totally different. I'm actually one of the few, I guess, in Salem that are trying it. It's for like sports because I box. I do boxing and stuff, and I'm super competitive with that. And that's pretty much where I was breaking all my braces in the first place. So let me grab it super quick. I got it right here. All right, cool. Sorry about that. I don't know how well you can see it, but this
Oh,
is mine. So I have another one. I wear them on both legs, but pretty much it's just this little spring is all I need. There's three settings. This is the lightest one, so pretty much it's all me at this point. But yeah, man, those are great. So
and they help you
I,
with
I
stability, balance, and things you can do, right?
yeah, I can pretty much lift like twice my weight because
That's
I'm about like 145 pounds. But with those, the other day, I like to kind of test them a little bit. But I pushed the leg thing at it was like 200 and something pounds, in which obviously it was pretty difficult, but I could do it. I can't do it without them. But
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. I know that there's all this new technology out there that allows people with any sort of disability to improve their life in any aspect just by asking the right help. And that's sort of how we connected in a way because we started following each other on Instagram and we both shared very similar passions in boxing and martial arts, and then we realized that we both had a very similar condition as well. Um,
yeah,
so
it
what
was honestly, man, it was nice for me though to, as soon as I don't know, I just saw one of your quotes. That's what it was. And I was like, I like this. Let me check this guy out.
yeah,
It was one of your motivational quotes. And then I saw your page and I was like, oh, he fights. Oh, and he has CMT. What?
I
So it was cool.
don't fight just yet, but that's on the cards myself. I just want
Well,
to
just in general, combat
fight.
sports
Yeah, combat.
training in general is, yeah,
Yeah.
it ain't for everybody. So
No, exactly, and that's the thing I love about it. Like I love watching it. I love for me, I love the mindset. I love the technique of it. Also, the athlete and the exercise and the fitness point of view of it. I know, like that's one thing that I find is very important to me is getting the body moving as well. So, what made you get into boxing as opposed to like? Because I used to train the gym. I still do sometimes, but what made you get into boxing? What was your motivation to start getting into boxing?
for me, I just got tired of I got bullied a lot.
Yeah,
Like in high school, middle school, I'm sure a lot of people can relate. It wasn't just from people that were kids, to be honest. It was more I got bullied more from adults,
yeah.
made fun of just because I looked different or I had little chicken legs. But I mean, that's all, it's in the past. It still actually sometimes happens now, but it's a lot easier for me to just laugh it off. But for me, I started with MMA. I just wanted to be able to defend myself, not even in a vengeful way. I had a few friends that did martial arts, and I loved watching their cage fights. And we used to box a lot, and they didn't like boxing with me. They were like, "You go with your hands, man." So I was like, "All right, I'll come down and check it out." Well, I sure did. After 2 weeks of MMA, I got my butt kicked and kneed, and my legs are just like, "What are we doing here?" And it was some of the most fun I ever had. But I was able to hang, and then I that's when I kind of switched over to boxing and realized, I don't gotta worry about my legs, and I can still, I can still throw and move. But for me, it was just like at a few times in my life, boxing, and like competing, and I don't know, it's I guess it's a rush, but I felt like it's not even about feeling alive for me. It's for me once in my life when I'm standing across the ring or wherever from another person, we're the same. Like it doesn't usually matter. I mean, don't get me wrong, I go against people at my gym right now that are way more advanced, but when it comes down to it, and especially, somebody that I come against is my size, my weight, it's we're the same. And
Yeah.
I've always felt like there's not an advantage,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
that to me that feels great.
Yeah, it's an empowering feeling, and I'm with you on that one. Um, for me, obviously, I do Muay Thai, incorporate that as so box. So for people that know Muay Thai is like elbows, knees, kicks, punches. It's very similar. It's like a very kickboxing game. Um,
Yeah,
so I love that thrill of it as well, and it makes you feel like the internal feeling you receive when you're standing in front of someone and you're just like we're actually just two human beings with the same love, same passion, same same motivation for doing this sport that where we can actually just come together and just test our skills. And for someone like you and I, for people like you and I, all of our life we've been bullied in some aspects of it, whether that's now or in past in life, but we know that with that bullying, it's only made us as stronger as a human being.
yeah, exactly.
And it's like I always like to say that old expression is those people that bully are only hurting themselves from the inside.
Yeah,
And
and I like to think all that bullying over all those years too just gave me one good sense of humor.
yeah, yeah,
So,
right. Yeah.
dude, I love comedy. I like sometimes dark comedy. Sometimes you have to laugh. I don't. When you wake up in pain every day, you
Mm.
have to at least have like you know, some way of looking at it that isn't the same or
Yeah, and some people take like I wake up in pain every day, but I don't like go out there and tell people that I'm dealing with this.
yeah,
I used to back in the day, but now it's like to the point in my life where I'm like I just get up and be grateful that I can walk, that I can talk, that I can actually have a body, I can actually wake up and breathe the next day because we're never guaranteed
100%.
tomorrow. So for those people that are listening and watching, I would ask you the question to what is something in your life that you feel could be different, yet you're taking it for granted. Because for you and me, our bodies are different to someone else's body, but we go out there and we still give it the best we can with what we've got, and that's a massive factor because you can't sit there and I don't like using that word can't because no such thing as can't. It's asking yourself,
Exactly.
how can I do
Just
something?
gotta find a different way to do it. That's all. Modify, modify.
Modify. We might walk funny, we might talk funny, and but that
We
comes.
might shake a little bit, but
Yeah, we
good. I got the shakes too. I got trimmers, so a lot of the time, man, especially since I worked out today, like I'm over here just my favorite thing is like when I hand somebody some money at the store or something, and I've like came from the gym or something, because I have like a slight trimmer anyways. But like after I've done getting a good workout or something, or even sometimes if I get nervous, I guess actually it'll come on strong too. And I'm like, whoa, 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 breathe it out, breathe it out. But I'll hand them the money and they're like, you okay, man? I'm like, yeah, 100%. Why? And they're like, oh, no, no worries.
a
And I'm
good thing.
like, you got to try to get it.
Yeah, good thing with that as well is what the nervousness I find I do a lot of breath work. So if you can control your breathing, like next time that happens or next time you're getting that emotion come up and you wanna stop, it's your nervous system reacting to something that's come up like a
Yeah,
traumatic experience. So I give it a go. Like this is for anyone listening, for anyone that's watching, and even yourself. Like next time that happens where you're shaking, just take 3 deep breaths in through your nose for 4 seconds and out through your mouth for 8, and you'll find your nervous system will calm right down before handing money over. That way, someone doesn't ask you if you.
right. All right. No,
Yeah,
I'm just gonna be like, hold on a second.
just walk into the bank and just start handing it. Just breathe, and then They're like, what the fuck?
There's a guy out front over here. He's freaking me out. No, he's fine. He does this all the time. Just give him a minute.
Just give me the money.
Mhm.
But that's interesting you say that because I know that we go through some dark days and there's some mornings where, and I don't know if you have this experience, but there's some mornings where you don't want to get up. There's some
Oh
mornings
yeah.
where you don't feel like getting up. And I know for me that's something that I'm challenging myself for again now. Like I used to get up all the time, but I'm now challenging myself to try and stay disciplined. Um, so what is one thing you do when you have those thoughts? As soon as you wake up, what do you do in that situation when you have those thoughts?
Usually, let's see if that's better. It started raining on me, so I had to come inside. Uh, Usually, so my problem is especially overly like these last couple of months, I've been experiencing like a ton of pain in my lower back.
Mm,
So I wake up about 5:30 in the morning, and I toss and turn about 7 or 8 times, and I have to get up. Sorry. My biggest problem is I have to get up because of the pain because I can't lay there because it's like a pulsating ache, I guess. But I'm sure a lot of people can relate. But so I get up, and that's pretty much when I have to pull myself together because it's not like an excuse or anything, I guess. But with my diseases like combating each other, I have like no body fat at all. So for me, like I feel like my hormones are just constantly like there's no regulator. So there's nothing for anything to soak into. So, I also don't drink alcohol really
yeah.
because for me, I'm a cheap date. So I can't even really do that. So I
Yeah,
just, then I'm on the ship again and I'm like, oh no, no, I've been here before. And they're
yeah,
like, you've only had half of a small beer.
that's something that I had to learn. Like I used to drink a lot, like every weekend. That was to numb my feelings and numb my physical pain. Now I'm in a point in my life where the last couple of years, I mean, I'll have a drink here and there, but it's not to the point where I'm drinking it away. And to control that pain, what I use that helps me as opposed to is a natural form of doing it is just simple breath work, like simple getting up in the morning and simple just breathing and feeling where the pain is because I suffer from back pain chronically all the time, like every day. I get
I'm
up,
sorry.
yeah, every day, man. It's
No way to live, man. But
it's
I
just
commend
about,
you on
yeah,
you're
and
still doing it though. You got a lot going on, and I feel like over the last couple months, man, I've been following you, and a lot of the times when I'm, having a not so easy morning, I'll see one of your posts where I can, one of your good old good morning posts, and I'm like, all right, well, let's just hear what he has to say, and within 2 or 3 minutes, I'm like, just get if he's doing it, you can do it, dude. Just get up, get the day started. Don't think about the little things. So
yeah, exactly, and that's what I love is love hearing people like yourself just be able to get that little bit of inspiration to go out and get up for the day and do the thing. And
well, a lot of oh, sorry.
yeah, and a lot of people sometimes need that motivation, but at the same time, you've got to motivate yourself. Like, what's the purpose you're doing what you're doing? Like, there's obviously got to be underlying purpose to why you get up every morning, why you're doing the things you're doing. Like, if it doesn't light you up, well, why are you doing it in the first place?
That's what a lot of people question me on with boxing. They just, oh, I don't understand why you put yourself through that, or don't you get beat up, or some days, yeah. But some days, to be honest with you, when I get beat up in like sparring or something, if I have an off day, that's when life's real. And that's when I can be like, wow, I'm here, you know, I'm living life. That was, I guess I don't know. It's like I said, it's not for everyone, but it's not always a rough day. But it's just I guess it's a way of looking at life.
Yeah, it's the way it's how you. Some people may not understand it, but that at the end of the day, if they don't understand it, well, they're not your people. Like if they don't understand who you are, only you know who you are as a person. And if you get up every day, you enjoy going to boxing, you enjoy doing the things you're doing, you enjoy spending time with your son, and you do all the things you want to be doing. If they don't like that in themselves, well, that means that's a trigger for them to go and do something to work on themselves. Because,
Yeah.
as you said, like when we're standing and when we're standing in front of in front of someone, man to man, or women to where we're standing in front of a man or woman, we're all the same. We're all one in some aspect of life. Whether you want to hear that or not, it's true. We're a reflection of ourselves. So
Well, and I
if,
feel like too, for everybody, if you were to get everybody in one little bubble area at some point in everybody's life, no matter who's bigger, stronger, faster, slower, smarter, however you want to look at it, at some point we are going to be in one situation where we are, we are exactly at the same, we're the same.
we're equal.
So,
We're equal. Like at the end of the day, there's no one that's better than us. Yes, some people may have the nice cars, the flashy cars, the money, the life that they want. That's something that we all should be able to have. It's just a matter of who those people surround themselves with, what they're doing in their life,
exactly.
what really matters to them, because you are the five people you hang around. You're
Yeah.
a, you're a product of your environment, and the environment's a product of you. If you're sitting there all the time complaining about your life, well, and that's what you're going to receive in return. If you say everything's shit, that's what you're going to receive in return. And and just being able to get up every morning and get on with a day, get up, just being able to get up is just a blessing.
That is 100%. That's one reason I love my wife so much. I just pretty much have to try to keep up with her. She does it all. She's indoors, outdoors. She works all day. She crafts. She paints. She woodworks. We landscape. It's just
Awesome, man. Awesome, man. That's something that
I got plenty of reasons to keep stomping.
gave me goosebumps when you shared that story with yourself being a single dad, because I know I don't have kids, but I really want kids, and I know that that's even going to be more of a blessing. What I've got now is even more of a blessing, because having being a father, I couldn't imagine what that's like to get up every morning and
It's
just,
wild.
yeah,
It's wild.
and I can't
But
wait for that
to be
experience.
honest, it's also it's uplifting. It's almost like you have you can't, there's no excuse. There's just, and that's one reason what I've always really loved with him is there's no excuse. If you don't get up like when he was small, what is he doing in the kitchen then? So I'm like, yeah, I better get up. My body's like, no, I got you. And over time. So it's like we
Over,
can't lay here.
yeah, you can't, yeah, you can't
He
lay
was a mischief maker too. So he was always into something. So
here. How old is he
kept
now?
me on my feet. He's 14 right now, but he's also like, so I'm like 6 foot. I've been shrinking like just barely. But this guy is coming in at like 6'3", and he's
What?
like 180 pounds. So when he comes home, I'm like, oh hey man. And he's like, hey. So when I go to the store sometimes, I feel like people are looking at me like I'm the kid.
Yeah. So would you that's interesting, because I've been told that, because my father's got the same condition. Well, he's not really being diagnosed, but he's got it so I've got it from the neck down, like the like it's got scoliosis in my spine. He's got it from the waist down himself. But have they said to you, like with Charcot-Marie-Tooth, and for those, it affects 2.6 million people globally, so it's quite rare condition. Have they said to you, like, because does your son have the condition at all? Because obviously he's 6'3". That's
So it actually took me I don't know, it took me like 3 years to get him to be seen at OHSU. I had to battle for him. I was able to get him checked out. So I guess I also have a gene that's associated with spinal muscular atrophy.
Mhm.
I have a few. My I've had three genetics tests, and the second one came back with quite a plethora, I guess you could say, of a bunch of different variants of things, but nothing was the same. Everything was uncertain. The good old normal. But I had him checked when he was small, and it was before they checked for spinal muscular atrophy. Now, when the babies are born, and they said, I was overreacting. He didn't have any symptoms, so right away I was overreacting. And these are the same people that are, supposed to be helping me out. So anyways, down the road everything's fine. But I noticed he runs a little flat-footed,
Hmm.
but a lot of people do. A lot of people don't run normal.
Hmm.
But had him I had him checked out at the beginning of this year at OHSU, and they didn't give him the genetics test, which I wanted, but he did go through some other tests, and he doesn't have any. So at this point, at my age, when I was his age, my legs were gone. I was down to the bone like I am now, but except for my upper thighs, I've been able to rebuild a lot of those. But right now, his legs are looking good. I could use them some days. So I mean, that's a it's a good thing. But no, I'm definitely keeping an eye because my genetics test I just took said that I'm a 50% chance carrier of Charcot-Marie-Tooth, and also coming from the other disease standpoint, I'm also a 50% chance carrier of Wilson's disease. So I mean, there was a few others, but they couldn't really describe them to me. They just said they were uncertain. So
That's
I
interesting.
have a good I have a good little list.
Yeah, yeah. I
That's
mean,
also why the last three appointments, to be honest, that I've gone to OHSU, they'll call my name as I'm walking towards them. They're looking past me, still calling my name, and I'm waving. And by the time I get there, they're questioning me on if I'm Ashton Cole. I'm like, yeah, why? It's because only one person said it when we got back to the room. It's because he thought I was in a chair, in a wheelchair, because he was looking at all my notes and my last test results, which is fine because my I've had 5 EMGs, and the last two are pretty much like I don't really have a lot of activity. So it's really hard to explain even with the braces because they pretty much just keep me upright. That's hard to explain how I can walk or do a lot of the stuff that I do, which is super frustrating because I've tried to enter like a lot of studies and stuff to like help people. And so I mean, until I got on Instagram at the beginning of this year, I met you and a couple other 100 people. Dude, I've never even seen somebody with CMT. So or yeah, or anything like that. So this and yeah, I'm 33 now, but to be fair, I've had to be so focused with this disease. If I don't use it, I lose it. So, if I spend 2 or 3 days sitting and relaxing, I'll pay the price. I'll wake up the fourth day with muscle loss a little bit, no balance, headaches. So it's weird. So
that's the key to it. Like,
tangent there. Yeah, I got lost there. Sorry about that.
no, that's okay. I'm happy open.
We don't really talk about this much either. So it's a nice change.
Yeah, yeah. That's the thing is like we like if we don't exercise and we the condition gets worse. We don't
It's just
exercise, the condition gets worse. And I know I haven't been to a doctor in the specialist in so long now because I've just taken myself off the list because they were just telling me the things that I already knew that was wrong. They were telling me the things I already knew was wrong with me. Like, but every test I did come back normal, and I was like, well, if they can't, like, they're all. I mean, like, I'm all for helping research and helping other people, but at the same time, there was no purpose in me going to the doctor where they were saying the same thing every single 6 months, and I was just like, I'm gonna go fix this. I'm gonna go do something for myself that's gonna allow me to become a better person.
Yeah,
It's that
100%, man.
and that's the thing. Like if we don't exercise, I had this question posed. My mum posed this question to me last weekend. She's like, "Oh, how are you feeling? Like, how's the condition? Like, how's everything going?" I'm like, "Mum, I've never felt the strongest I've ever felt in my life. Both training internally, what I'm doing internally through different work I'm doing, and if I stop, like I stopped for 10 days when
Ooh.
I stopped for a good month, but I didn't stop completely and just sit back on the couch and not do anything because the moment I stopped doing that, it's like I suffer from pain. If I stop training for 3 or 4 days, not move my body, I'll be in so much more pain than I was beforehand.
Yeah, it's great. It's a
Fucking
trip.
crazy, man. And it's like,
Yeah, 100%.
and I see these people, it's like they're sitting at home, they're doing all this stuff, they just go for walks, and I'm like that's in the long run, like it's opposite of for us. It's like we have to move our bodies. Otherwise, we just get this our nervous system and our muscles in our bodies just contract. And if we don't
Yeah,
exercise that, it's as human beings, we need to exercise. It's going to help your emotional state, it's going to help your physical state and your mental state. There's so much depression out there that people they don't exercise and I wonder why they got depression. But it's not I don't depression it's only depression if you're labeled as depression.
yeah,
If you can and depression is a thing that comes down like you're depressed because you're not expressing yourself. So for you and me, we're expressing ourselves through martial arts, through watching other people, through inspiring other people, through doing all the stuff we're doing. And I want to go back to that point when you said about the legs, because I know that the calf muscles deteriorate where you're a bone. Whereas with my knees, I'm very much similar with my knees. I don't have any much muscle around my knees. So I get a lot of joint pain around my knees, my hips especially, and especially doing Muay Thai. So
oh yeah, yeah.
is there any supplements that you've got to take every day that help you with that?
So it's funny you say that. So for this last, normally each year for like the last, I'll just get real quick. For like the last, since I was like 31. So since I've already done past what all the doctors said and all their tests are like, no, man, we don't even know what these test results mean. So you just, and it says you shouldn't be walking, but you are. So we're not, and I said, I'm just going to go do me. So
Yeah.
pretty much, I tried every kind of medication that you can. They were even giving me antidepressant medication. Anyways, none of that worked. So I'm not on any medication. The only medication that they give me is like hydrocodone randomly, which I don't take. It just sits in my drawer.
That
So because
I'm yeah, like
not going
I'm very much similar. I haven't taken pain prescription medication the last two years.
yeah, and I got no problem with it, nothing against it. I totally understand why it's there, but to be honest, it can become a problem.
It only
But
numbs,
for me, huh? Sorry.
numbs the feeling. It numbs
Yeah.
everything else.
Which seems to be twice as worse when it returns. So,
100%. Yeah. And it's and the body's
but,
the you're actually poisoning your body by taking that medication. It's
yeah,
make
and the side effects.
the
And for
side
me,
effect
since I only have like I'm only whatever muscle I have left at this point. So I mean, any kind of pill or anything I also take, I feel everything super quick. I'm really healthy, so I process things like a champ. Um, any tests I've had, not to get off on a tangent, but I have had like my kidneys and my heart and stuff like that tested, and I'm as healthy as an ox in aspect, as in like my internal organs. But when it comes down to the Charcot-Marie tooth and the other things that I tested for, those diseases focus on those type of things. So I try to ask, and the only thing that I can pretty much do is, because if they decide pretty much, so my nerves eat my muscle, and once they do that, it's there, it's gone. But so for me, I've been doing I don't do anything. I drink a ton of water, but
Mhm.
I do it's just like a protein powder, but it has like so I do a lot of protein throughout the day. If I notice I don't eat, I'll start going like I just get lightheaded. So I have to eat all day. I eat like I live with my wife's father, and when we eat dinner, he just sits there and just until I finish. He's like, I just don't understand where it goes, man. Because I have like three helpings. And then I'm usually like, what's dessert?
Yeah.
He's like, this is fun.
That's the same with me, brother. I'm like, I go to my mum's or I'll go eat somewhere. I'm like, I have like two plates, and I'm like, I'm still hungry. I got this fast metabolism, but I don't put the weight on. It's like I'm just goes in one and I train. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. And
Especially when you train, I have to eat immediately after training.
yeah, bro. I sometimes I've been fasting myself, and that's a discipline in itself because it's so good for
It is.
your
It
focus.
is actually though.
Yeah,
Not to wasn't trying to cut you off. Sorry. I had my own experience with that as well. So it does it is a little difficult, but it there's benefits.
100%. It helps. I think it, now correct me if I'm wrong. For those listening and watching, I think it improves your. I think it improves your age of living as well. I
Yeah,
believe.
as far as I know as well too.
Not
Yeah.
that I'm not that I'm a researcher in that, but I know I've heard it from different mentors of mine as well. And I know the supplement side of it. Like for me, I take magnesium tablets because of the like I get a lot of cramps, and if I don't take them for like 2 or 3 days, I can feel my body, my hands. They just don't. I can just feel like I'm very empathetic person, so I can feel a lot of things like from people and everything else. So when I'm exercising, if I don't take that, I'll end up I'll end up just being so sore. Or I'll do like
Yeah.
I take these fruit and vegetable tablets as well. That's the only supplement to take, and then energy supplements. Just normal ones you get from a supermarket or a grocery
Yeah.
store.
That's
Uh,
pretty much where I'm at. My stuff is just like a it's just like a max protein powder, but it does have all all the essential nutrients and vitamins, but it also has like fatty acids and stuff like that. But mostly what I have the hardest problem finding is stuff that actually just has vitamin D and calcium in it. And this is one of the few that does. Those are what I need, apparently. When I have plenty of those, I don't have a lot of issues.
Vitamin C, vitamin D, and calcium.
Yeah, C, D, and calcium for me.
Yeah, I think I'm not sure what it's
And
like in America,
protein. Lots
but
of protein.
yeah, yeah, protein. I know I can't like for me, milk is not really good for me for my body.
No,
So-
that's you too. Yeah, I get the bubble guts is what I call it. So
The
I can't drink the milk with my pro. Normally, I do coconut milk with my protein shake. That's what I'll use.
Yeah, coconut milk. Coconut milk is really good for you. And I'm gluten intolerant. I'm lactose intolerant. So I've only discovered this stuff since taking all like because I've stopped taking all the medication, but pain medication, everything else that I've only discovered this, and I'm so in tune with my body now. My body knows when the food's not good for me because it'll just either
That's
go,
what I'm saying.
yeah, it'll go straight through me. I'll be going to the toilet straight afterwards. Or it'll be like, okay, it's gonna sit here and it's gonna actually give me energy. And I know a lot of things like certain fruits I can't have either. I'm sort of learning all that stuff through different mentors and coaches that I've invested in that allow me to understand my body even more. I'm very aligned with what I'm doing in regards to what I'm feeding my body, but also at the same time, it's giving me the adjustments I need to make in regards to my health because I know that you're only a couple of years older than me. I know that if I get down to the age of 60, they've said to me that I'll be in a wheelchair myself. So I've got to keep exercising, keep doing the things I can now for the betterment of my future.
Well, and
And
what I try to stress too is, by the age of, sorry, I wasn't trying to cut you off there. By the age of, even for me, it was 30 and, 36. That's for me, that's the window. That's when your body's still, producing. Because after that, you don't, your testosterone production and stuff like that, that makes you want to get out there and do something, or I'm gonna mow the lawn today, or whatever, but this is the time to work out. And two, because if your body's used to, I don't know, my whole like aspect of how I've lived is definitely not for everybody. And I've worn my braces so religiously that my bones over time have like just slightly, bent in to like almost the shape of the actual brace. But in my opinion, that's how I can because like on some of my videos I share when I'm hitting the bag and stuff like that. So like when I'm training and stuff and wearing my braces, a lot of the time I don't have to wear them. I mean, it'll hurt afterwards, and I get trampoline legs, so I can't lift my legs. But I mean, as crazy as it looks, like I can move and groove at without those things. And I think it's because I've just been so adamant about using my legs. I've used the crap out of them. But the other problem with that, I've actually been talking to a guy that I met whose son has muscular dystrophy, and he's 12, and he's starting to go through like a lot of the pains and a lot of the stuff, and I just pretty much, it's different for everybody. But my biggest thing is just, try to any kind of activity. And as weird as it is, activity that you wouldn't think somebody like with the condition that we have, or somebody who steps over their feet or doesn't have a lot of muscle in their legs and can't move as quick or no balance or whatever, like dancing or boxing or yes, something like that, because that's when, dude, that's pretty much that's where it's going to come from. That's why I have balance. That's why I go to the doctors and they're like, yeah, we haven't seen you in 3 years and you're twice the size as you were. This is weird.
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
like, yep, you know.
That's
They're like,
massive.
dude, your arms are bigger than mine.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm like, and even the smallest little adjustments, like dancing is something I love. Dancing is something I love doing, and it's like it may sound weird.
I'm not the greatest dancer, though. I will tell you that.
What?
I'm not the greatest dancer. You won't see me in the club, but
I do it in the street sometimes, and I'm just like, yeah, who cares? Like, I just it's just a good get up in the morning and do a bit of meditation and dance, and then dance in the mirror. It might sound weird, but at the same time, it boosts your energy levels because
oh, you feel comfortable in your own skin. That's when life makes sense.
100%, man.
That's
It's all about. If you don't feel comfortable in your own skin, well, there's some stuff you got to work on within
I
yourself.
love hearing that you do that. So now I know I'm not the only one that just kind of moves around the house in whatever,
or
whatever clothing state I'm in.
or singing or anything that's gonna allow yourself to be fully expressed, because the more you compress your feelings, your thoughts, the more it's going to eat you inside than it is actually going to allow you to move forward in your life. Because as I said to you and the listeners and the viewers earlier, it's like whatever you're feeding your internal world is going to project in your external world.
Yeah, and something I could add to that just to get real for a second. So we were talking about, like just things I've had to get over, or anybody like us has to get over, like when it comes to like our legs, or I think you said your friend, kind of tried to hide, hid his legs and stuff. I did that for years. I didn't like anybody knowing. I was actually pretty weird about it. And then a lot of people I meet now that I knew in high school or whatever, and I tell them, or they see the braces, they're like, "Where'd you get those?" Always had it. But my pretty much what I'm trying to say is sorry, this last year or two, since I've been boxing more regularly, I mean, I've been boxing off and on for like 10 years, but I really have gotten back into it. And at this gym I'm going, I feel really comfortable. But to be honest, as hard as it is to say for me, until these last year or so, even I used to not ever go to boxing in shorts. I used to only wear sweatpants. And to be honest, a lot of people that I come across or work out with, except for the people that really know me, they had no idea. And I was just so weird about that. But but now, now I actually own shorts. I'll go to boxing now and short shorts and some Under Armours, with my little shoes on, just letting my stick legs fly. And I try not to think about it because it'll get me. Dude, I get weird with it sometimes. I'll have the pair of shorts and the sweatpants, and I'm like, what are you going to do today? Why are we having this conversation? Put the shorts on and just go. Who cares?
Yeah, it's
And like I said, this last year, since I've met you and so many other people that just don't seem to care what other people think in a negative way, I ask myself, why am I wasting all this energy? And that's real deal. Like I said, a lot of the people I'm friends with on Instagram, yeah, we don't like talk and I don't really know them, but I do follow the stories, the reels. I see the real life. So
yeah.
it's been a big wake up call for me. So I've definitely been putting myself in that position more and letting my freak legs fly. Gotta be
That,
proud.
that's it, man.
Well, I'm proud anyways. I've never hated on the disease at all, just my own personal, insecurity.
Yeah, and we all got our insecurities, and that's something that the insecurities is sometimes our biggest power. And being it comes down to that acceptance piece. Yes, I've got a condition. I used to do the same. Like I used to walk around, and I've always in high school I had shorts, so I've always had the braces on, and people used to question me. I used to be the different kid in school because I had this like granny scooter and stuff like that. But I never used to tell people when I left school. I never used to tell people I had the condition. When they found out, like, oh really? So I've just lived life the way that I can. And it's funny you say that because I think you go by stick legs on Instagram, whereas my father, my
Yeah.
father calls it wine glass legs.
Oh, nice. That's one I haven't heard. Wow.
Yeah, wine
I'm gonna
glass.
add it. Dude,
Yeah.
I got some good ones, but that's a first. I'll have
Or
to tell my wife.
or
Get a kick out of it.
his nickname is Bindi because I don't know if you know what bindis are, but like those things on the grass, like when they prick your feet, that hurts your feet because he walks around like something's stuck on his feet.
Like a giant thorn.
Yeah, it's like a thorn
Yeah.
like on the grass. Yeah, yeah. So it's fascinating. So when you can come to a place of love and just laugh at it, it's a place of joy. And at the same time, you've obviously been in a situation where you've had these insecurities, and it's allowed you to see other people like myself and other people you're following and everyone else in your life. It's really allowed you to step into your own full expression as well, which is something for me that's been hard, and it's something that I'm still working on. And so we're all working on some aspect of our insecurities, whether we like it or not. Whether you want to own up to it, that's an aspect that only you can look within yourself and actually own up to it. Because until you own up to it, it's gonna play out in your life, every aspect of your life, and
100%.
that's something that I'm so passionate about is people giving the best what they can with what they've got, and to never take your life for granted, because you could be not here tomorrow.
Yeah, no.
We're never guaranteed tomorrow.
Well, and the world's only getting crazier in an easy way of saying it. So
Especially with what we've been through with COVID and with everything else that's going on. It's like you've got to truly embrace the world we live in, because the moment you stop doing that is the moment you've lost in life.
yeah.
And it's so powerful. So with that said, bro, like I appreciate you coming on and sharing your
Oh,
story, sharing bits of gold for what you've done, and I'm sure we'll stay connected. So let people know where they can find you and what your socials are from there.
so yeah, I'm on Facebook. Obviously, it's just Ashton Cole. But then I'm also my Instagram, which I'm more active through, is Stick Legged Lion.
Stick
So
later.
it's a picture of yeah, it's a picture of me with a flexing with a palm tree, and you can see my leg braces that I actually planted and drugged there myself. We've been trans. My wife's father has this weird addiction, and it's trees, palm trees. So yeah, we dig out palm trees from people's yards and we plant them in ours. And that's what
That's
he's been on. It's just been yeah, it's something else.
that's cool, brother. And I'll leave the listeners and viewers with this. Like, what's one piece of advice you would give yourself, your younger self today?
Oh man. Honestly, I know it may be a little cliche, but it's something I actually do quite frequently, and I don't need to. Is as for me would be stop sweating the small stuff. Focus more on the entire day at hand. If that makes sense in a way, but definitely stop sweating the small stuff.
Mm, awesome, brother. Well, thanks again, man. Thanks again for jumping on, and stay tuned. Like, share, comment. Let me know your key takeaways of today's podcast, and if you enjoyed it, give me a follow. Thanks, guys.